All right, Garrett Johnston here with Anirban Lahiri, and you've had a pretty good run here this year on LIV. And what do you chalk it up to?
It's nice, It's been a good year. Lots of good weeks, some not so good ones. But I think I'm just getting more comfortable, and I have the belief that I can come out and compete and contend out here. So, just working on it, one day at a time, trying to get better.
You talk about belief. How much is self-talk a part of that belief? What you allow yourself to tell yourself from hole to hole, from round to round. How important is that inner dialogue to you?
I think your attitude and your mindset is everything. Some of the best results I've had are tournaments where I've not had my best game, but I've had the best attitude that week. So a lot of what happens between the years and how you stay in the moment, in the present, and kind of let go of, the positives and negatives alike. Almost you just stay neutral. I think for me that's been the key to a lot of the good weeks. Is you just stay in the present, do what you need to do in that moment, and once you've done it, you kind of let go. Even if it goes in the hole or it lips out, you kind of move on to the next shot and stay with your process. So how you handle yourself on the course is everything.
Right. Well, and also Sundays are so pivotal out here, right? And there's just so much on the line. How do you deal with Sunday pressure? Like, how do you measure that?
I think it's more of the same. Obviously, it's easier said than done. You probably start looking at the leaderboards or start seeing where your team's at or where you're at individually. Coming down the home stretch. But other than that, you have to continue to stick to your strategies, your processes, your game plans, your blueprints. That's one of my goals that I set up before the week. Is I lay out a blueprint for how I want to play the golf course, regardless of the situation, and then you don't really waver off that unless the situation really demands it. So, and that situation only arises really late on a Sunday afternoon. So you kind of stick to your game plan and execute.
Speaking of execution, what has helped you with your iron play, typically with your overall execution?
Well, I mean, trying to keep it simple. We travel a lot, we play a lot, and the fundamentals can get shaken up from time to time. So I just try and work on my fundamentals, try to make sure that I'm moving nicely and my body is responsive to what I'm asking it to do. My coach has always said that if you're not in the right starting position, you won't get to the finish. So a lot of what I focus on is non-movement based. So it'll be stance, ball position, grip, posture, things like that. So once I know that I'm in a good position to move, my body knows how to move, and I've hit enough golf shots to know what I need to do. So I try and focus on the fundamentals.
You were mentioning posture there a second ago. When it comes to chipping, like what do we want to be with our weight distribution and our setup there?
Well, I think it depends from shot to shot. I think if you're looking at a stock standard chip shot, you want the ball to be kind of middle of your stance to maybe just ahead. Your weight's obviously got to be on your lead foot. If you're right-handed, that's your left foot. If you're left-handed, it's your right foot. You basically want your center to be above the ball, so you move your center forward to be over the ball, and that's where your club bottoms out. I mean, it's an art form in a way, right? So you just have to get those reps and get the feels and then go and execute, be athletic.
Speaking of being athletic and art form, how much does that come into play with shots out of bunkers?
I think bunker shots are probably slightly more technical because you get different kinds of sand, you get different kinds of challenges, different lies, up slope, down slope, plugged, ball above your feet, below your feet. So
fried egg, maybe.
Yeah, I mean you have so many different things, and you have to have a good technique to begin with. And then once again your fundamentals are good in the sand, then you can always adjust and kind of make changes depending on the shot that's in front of you. But yeah, again, back to your fundamentals.
And speaking of the fundamentals, for you with putting, what tends to be the main things you want to tick off your boxes with fundamentals there?
So over the last couple of years, I've worked a lot on getting my eyes over the ball and just having a really consistent tempo, like a consistent acceleration and change in motion. I see a lot of amateurs who get short and jerky or long and stabby, and you have to either have a sound in your head like a boop, or you have to have some kind of a trigger, some kind of a feel that allows you to kind of keep that flow. And again, you'll see all of us on the putting green working a lot on just, again, aiming. A lot of times.
Start lines, right?
Well, yeah, start lines, but also aim line, because are you starting it where you're aiming or where you think you're aiming? You're probably starting it where your putter's aiming, but do you know where your putter's aiming? So a lot of the stuff that you'll see the professionals do with, chalk lines and, balls rolling out, lasers and whatnot, mirrors, it's all based on refining essentially a gun. You want the scope to be pointing where it's supposed to be pointing and not somewhere else. So a lot of it is getting that in place, and then the next step is the execution, obviously.
And then just lastly, I know it's heartbreak for you to being so close in Spain, but what did you learn about yourself? What did you take away from that?
I learned a lot. I learned that it's not over till it's over. I learned that I did get ahead of myself while I waited to tap out. And yeah, I didn't stay.
Mentally got ahead of yourself?
Well, yeah, exactly. I probably stayed in the right state of mind for 53 and 3/4 holes, and I didn't for that one shot, and it's a tough lesson to learn. But I can if I go back in time and I see what happened and where I kind of came out of my bubble or came out of my mindset. I know exactly when that happened, exactly why that happened, and that will always serve as a reminder for me to not make that mistake again when I get back in that situation. And it's also a huge motivation, huge confident booster that I put myself in that position despite not having my best golf on Sunday. So yeah, it was a great week for me.
A lot of great advice here from Anirban Lahiri. A lot of lessons you've learned over the years. Appreciate the time.
Always learning. Thank you. Thanks.